Hey YouTube, let's talk about 2026 Honda Prelude. The Prelude's officially coming back. And, back in the day, I had a fifth gen Honda Prelude. And, I absolutely loved that car. It was actually the very first Honda I've ever owned. It came with a four-cylinder, it had VTEC, and a five-speed manual. Just a blast to drive. It was simple, engaging, and it always just put a smile on my face. And since then, I've owned an S2000, and now I drive an FL5 Civic Type R. But this new 2026 Prelude really caught my attention because it gives us a glimpse into where Honda's future performance is headed. Maybe even what the next generation Type R could look like. So let's dive into it. Yeah, so the Prelude is back, but it's definitely going to be a little bit different this time. This isn't the high revving manual transmission coupe we all remember. The new Prelude is Honda's first ever hybrid sports coupe, and it's designed to be more of a grand touring car than a raw performance machine. And the cool part about this Prelude is it actually rides on the Civic Type R chassis. So it's built on pretty good bones. But unlike Type R, Honda's tuning this one for balance. They're going more for a mix of comfort, style, and fuel efficiency. It's not going to be necessarily a track car. All right, so under the hood, the new Prelude's going to be running a 2-liter four-cylinder hybrid system with two electric motors. It's going to be making about 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque to the front wheels. So this is going to be a front-wheel drive car. And that's almost the same horsepower as the old 5th-gen Prelude that had that H22 VTEC motor. But I'm sure it's going to feel completely different because the H22 motor that the 5th-gen had, it loved to scream to 7,000 RPM, and the VTEC would kick in, and that motor really had some character. This new hybrid setup, it's all about instant torque. So the power delivery, it's going to be smooth. And it will definitely be quieter accelerating compared to the VTEC motor that we saw in the past. And let's talk a little bit about the performance and expectations, right? So Honda, they haven't officially released the pricing or 0-60 times yet. But here's what I think we can realistically expect. So given that it's a hybrid technology, and they're positioning it towards the upscale market. It'll probably start at about 35 to 40,000 price range, and I'm thinking, it's probably going to be a little bit more than a Civic Si or hybrid touring, and they'll position this one below the Civic Type R's 47,000 MSRP. Good luck getting a Type R at that 47,000 MSRP, and I'm sure it's going to be higher next year if the car is still available. But as far as performance goes, so this new Prelude, it's gonna have that 200 horsepower and hybrid torque. So I am guessing, if I had to guess, 0-60 is probably going to be in the low 6-second range, maybe mid sixes. So it's not going to be built to outrun the Type R, but it's going to be definitely quick and smooth for everyday driving. So this Prelude's going to have S Plus shift system. And what Honda's trying to do here is they're trying to simulate a dual clutch transmission experience with paddle shifters. It's kind of hard for manufacturers to release these with manual transmissions because of probably reliability issues, and it adds levels of complexity. So they just, I guess they just don't sell as much manual transmission cars. They don't sell as many, but dual clutch is what they're going to be releasing these with. So it's going to have rev matching downshifts. It's some of the engine sounds are going to be pumped in, sounds like through the speakers. So I don't know how to feel about that. I've had an S2000. Now I drive an FL5 Civic Type R. All of those are, some of the best manual transmissions in the business. And I'll admit it's going to be a tough sell for purists, those that really want that experience with a manual transmission. So Prelude not having that, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to do. I think I really just have to drive it to see what that S Plus shift experience is going to feel like. But I do appreciate that, Honda's at least they're trying to keep the driver engagement alive as much as as we move into the hybrid technology. So, and let's talk about chassis and handling. So underneath, the Prelude borrows heavily from the Type R, right? As I mentioned before. So it's got dual axis front suspension to reduce torque steer. It's got adaptive dampers and Brembo 4-piston front brakes. Those are going to be painted in the unique Prelude blue instead of the Type R's red. So I don't know how it's going to handle, but I'm sure it won't be as sharp or as aggressive as the Type R. It'll definitely be more comfortable ride than the Type R. Probably a better daily driver, I would say. And it's probably going to be the kind of car you'll enjoy driving day to day, but not necessarily. It's not the car you're going to want to probably take to the racetrack, although I don't know, maybe some of you will. So the interior and tech in this car. So inside, Honda, they're going for more of a premium vibe. So you get the leather trimmed heated sports seats and a flat bottom steering wheel with paddles, which I kind of like. That's a nice addition. And also I know some people like the heated seats. So this car is going to have that. There's a 10.2-inch digital gauge cluster and a 9-inch HD touchscreen, plus the 8-speaker Bose audio system. I don't know how I feel about that. I'd have to hear it, I guess, because Type R has 12 speakers set up. And the 8-speaker setup, yeah, it's less speakers. It's probably a bit smaller car than the Type R. And it is going to have a subwoofer. So I don't know. I'd have to see it to really to see how I feel about that Bose audio system and the Prelude. So, and then the one thing I noticed too is so the digital cluster, it doesn't have the aggressive sporty F1 inspired tachometer that you see in the Type R. I don't know if it's going to have shift lights, or maybe it's just the basic traditional hybrid display. I'm sure Honda will do something to make it a little more special when you're switching into different drive modes. So yeah, but it looks like Honda's heading towards, a more of a refined and calm feel with this one compared to the track-ready Civic Type R. And honestly, I mean, it fits the GT personality perfectly. I mean, that's what they're shooting for. I'm sure the Type R, hopefully they'll bring it back in 26 and years later. So the Type R is going to remain probably the faster, more of a track-ready vehicle than the Prelude. And then the cabin looks like it's a blend of luxury and sport, right? So there's less bolstering than the FL5 seats. Probably better for long drives than the FL5. Although I did see somewhere that bolstering on the driver's side, it might be more aggressive than the passenger side. And yeah, the cool thing is, so the rear seats fold down. So you should be able to easily fit your golf clubs and luggage back there. Let's talk about the exterior design, right? So The new Prelude, it looks like it's going to have a low, wide, and sleek front. I do like that it has the double bubble roof and flared fenders and those 19-inch Berlina black wheels. Those look kind of cool. I'd have to see them in person. It doesn't look like it has a sunroof. I don't know if there's going to be option for that or not, but maybe because it's a smaller roof and that double bubble roof, I don't know if they'll be able to make a sunroof version here. And Honda, I read something about it. So Honda is using some sort of laser brazing technology on the roof line. So that eliminates some of the traditional trim molding for a clean premium look, which it does look pretty slick. Makes it look a little more modern. But yeah, not having that sunroof, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I think some people would want that. And a couple of other details that stood out to me looking at these photos and videos. So there are no visible exhaust tips. You know, everything's hidden beneath the bumper. So to me, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like seeing the exhaust pipes. You know, it makes it look sportier. And that is a big shift from what we're used to, you know, because the Type R has the triple pipe center exhaust, you know, and they could have done like a maybe double or dual outlet exhaust on this one, but I don't know. Maybe they're doing it like the rest of the EVs. They're kind of trying to hide the exhaust pipes. Who knows? Definitely a cleaner look, you know, but as an enthusiast, I'll admit I like seeing the exhaust pipes. So. And the second thing that I noticed here too is the door handles, right? So these are they look nice. They're flush mounted, similar to what you see on a lot of EVs nowadays. They sit flat with a body for better aerodynamics. But yeah, I'd have to just see how they, I guess, feel and interact, or try to open the door in this thing and just see if I like it or not. But it looks cool, that's for sure. And as far as colors go, so Honda announced that they're gonna include meteorite gray, crystal black, rally red, boost blue, and the winter forest pearl. So, and the cool thing about this winter frost pearl color is you can get it optioned and pair it with a black roof, which I think would look really cool. The white and black combo is just something that I've always liked. One thing that you won't see on this Prelude is championship white color. Looks like Honda kept that color exclusive to the Type R lineup. And honestly, you know, I think that's great because it keeps Type R feeling more special. Type R has a lot of the other colors, though. The crystal black, rally red, boost blue. Those are all available on the Type R. But yeah, championship white is reserved just for the R, and I appreciate that. So my personal take on this car, you know, for me, this car is kind of bridging the two eras, right? So it's going from the analog that we all got used to and grew up with to the hybrid future that's coming, right? So my Civic Type R gives me that raw mechanical connection, the perfect shifter, the turbo rush, that track DNA. But the Prelude gives you something else, you know, it's giving you more of that refinement, comfort, probably just enough driver involvement to keep the Honda spirit alive, you know? So if you love the high revving thrill of an S2000 or a Civic Type R, this won't replace it. But as a daily with some personality and practicality, it might be a good choice for those that don't want to drive something boring like a Prius. Here are my final thoughts about this car, right? So I don't like that there's no visible exhaust, and I really don't like that there's no manual transmission. Those are the things that I wish Honda did differently. I get it, the complexity of having a manual transmission in a hybrid vehicle is probably hard to do, and also the hybrid motor. I don't know how I feel about it. I think I just have to drive it. But I do like that this car has those flush door handles. I like the overall design. The car looks pretty slick. Um, and it just, obviously it's going to be more comfortable, better gas mileage than the Civic Type R. So those things are good for that specific buyer. But it's not going to be the same Prelude we grew up with. It's just this is where Honda's headed now. And honestly, I think this new Prelude, it might be giving us a glimpse into the future of the Type R. So if you ever thought about getting a Civic Type R, I think now might be the best time to get one, because we don't know if they're going to be coming out with a new one in 2026, and we don't know what they're going to do in 2027. This car kind of shows us where Honda's headed with their performance vehicles. I think the next Civic Type R, honestly, I'm thinking it's going to be electrified. It's probably going to be a hybrid of some sort. It's not going to have a manual transmission, and a lot of the purists are really going to miss it. So get a Type R if you don't have one yet while you can. All right, what do you guys think about the new Prelude? And how do you feel about the missing manual transmission? That's what I really want to know, because that's the direction Honda's headed in. So drop your thoughts down below. Especially if you're a fellow Type R owner, or you drove an S2000, or maybe you had the previous gen Prelude. I'd love to hear your take. Well, I'm Victor from FL5 Motors. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.